Hi, everyone. It's Lydia with Avanti Creative Marketing. So, I'm doing these little short video series to help inspire not only job seekers, people who are laid off, people who are unemployed, but also there might be an opportunity to be inspired even if you are employed. So, I want you to just decide for yourself, see if these stories are helpful and inspirational, and let me know what you think. So, basically, this title of this video is Creative Marketing Doing Things Outside of the Box. I want to just say that job seekers who aren't typically professional marketers have to all of a sudden become a marketer because nobody is job seeking for you. You're not hiring an agency to use their creative skills to help you find a job. So if that's not your profession, maybe you don't know what's possible. Maybe you haven't thought outside of the box. And so I'm going to get on here for job seekers and just spark some hopeful thoughts and some ideas of ways to approach getting a job the way I would approach getting an account. So, my background is 30 years of sales, marketing, and business development. And back in the early 90s, when I first started as a medical sales rep, I wasn't given a bunch of fancy marketing tools to work with in the early 90s. Heck, we didn't even have cell phones back then. We had pagers. So that helps you understand where I'm coming from. So, one of the challenges is that as a salesperson, we had goals. We had goals that validated whether or not we were worthy employees. If we didn't hit our sales goals, the whole company couldn't function because the salespeople who were doing all the heavy lifting to get the revenue in for the company wasn't doing, if they weren't doing their job, then the whole company would suffer. So we had a lot riding on our shoulders. I don't know if anybody ever thinks about that, but there are support roles in companies, and then there are revenue roles, because if the revenue's not coming in by the marketing team and all the support staff in marketing and the sales team and the business development teams, the company doesn't have money to pay other employees for the support that they do, administration, operations, whatever. So it's kind of a heavy job, actually. And after like 20 or so years, it was a lot to chase a carrot every day. So you get creative. You figure out how to make the connection between a prospect and a sale so that the money can come into a company. So I'm just sharing this with job seekers, not because you're salespeople, not because you have marketing, background. You don't, but all of a sudden, when you're in the job market, maybe you're an engineer, maybe you're a um, software developer, programmer. I mean, you've got to all of a sudden become your best marketer. That's where I'm going to take my creative marketing background and offer some thoughts and ideas. Okay. So I think I kind of said that already. I'm just reiterating it. So, want to just let you know that salespeople, I don't know if I should say this, but our little secret, at least the ones who are successful, we don't really have a lot of rules on what to do, what not to do to get a customer. We've got to get creative about getting the customer. So think about that from your job perspective. Some people really need work, but they're putting themselves inside this box of what's typical for job seekers. And to be honest with you, I think if you go outside of the box and you do something amazing, the company who you're trying to get their attention for might say, this person thinks outside the box. This person finds solutions to challenges. This person finds ways to get things done. So instead of being concerned about their opinion about you because you're not following the rules, think about the implications of what you do to get their attention and how they may respect it and honor it and then appreciate it. I guarantee you, a CEO who would see a person's actions like that would appreciate it. Okay. So I want you to think outside the box. If you're curious about doing something, you have this great idea, email me through Messenger, through the LinkedIn, message me, tell me what you think you want to do, and I'll be happy to give you my opinion. If you're a little scared and you want some collaboration on, is this okay? Is this too far outside the box? Is this going to look negatively on me? Or is this something somebody would appreciate, this idea and this innovation? Okay. Most of what I've done has been innovation. I've come up with my own ideas because I was told at 10 years old by a multimillionaire father who lived across the street. He said, "Little Lydia, if you can solve a problem, you have a business." So my brain has always thought, when I see a problem, I try to find a solution. And if I can find a solution that's adaptable to people, I figured it's a good opportunity to possibly go down that pathway and see if it can create a business opportunity or a revenue opportunity. Okay. So this is an invitation. If you want to check your ideas off about how you want to go about your job seeking outside of a box setting, send them to me and I'll tell you what I think. Okay. 2 more things, and then I'm going to wrap up this video. It's 7 minutes right now. So basically, I want to tell you a quick story about how I went outside the box and how I like to work smart when I'm looking for business development instead of hard. Okay. So think about that. What would be the easiest pathway to you to get a job? Okay. Go top down. Think top down, not top up. Everybody, the pathway top up, bottom up is crowded. It's like a freeway at rush hour. Why don't you go at 4 o'clock before rush hour, or at 6 a.m. instead of 7 and 8 a.m. I'm using that figuratively. Okay. So I just mean, don't go with the crowds. Figure out a way that you'll be noticed. Okay. So here's a quick success story of how I just told the story to a colleague. So I was working at my last job. I was the vice president of business development for a startup. And we had done a lot of different things to try to get into the market. And then COVID happened. And we really realized that to really grow the revenue for the company that we needed to keep going, then I needed to get something big. And so I was sitting at my couch on a Friday night watching Hulu, and the president, the local regional president of a large grocery chain in my city for 115 stores, was talking about how they had these great protocols in place for COVID measures. And I saw his name and I wrote his name down on a piece of paper. And I said, I'm going to go find that guy because I want to work top down to get the sale for my company. So I just wrote his name down, and it was late on a Friday night. I went to bed, but before I went to sleep, I thought, I'm going to Google the guy. So I Googled him, and the first thing that came up was his LinkedIn account. So I was like, what do I have to lose? Let me see if he'll connect with me, because when you request it and then they never respond, you haven't lost anything. If you never request it, they'll never respond. But if you request it, you've just given a pathway for a connection that's possible. So you got to believe that things are possible. I will tell you, within 15 minutes, that president of that 115 store grocery chain in my city, he was a regional president. He accepted my request on LinkedIn. And I was like, oh my gosh, my heart started beating. Now I had this direct pathway to communicate to the president of this chain. So I was like halfway there. And so then that was in September. I think it was around September 15th. I remember this so vividly. It was recent, actually. It was like 2.5 years ago. So then I'm going to the grocery store, that named grocery store, during the week of Thanksgiving. It was Saturday morning. And I rolled out of bed. My hair was up like in a rat's nest. I had basically sweatpants on, no makeup. It was like 7 a.m. I was going there to rent a shampooer to shampoo my carpets that weekend for the Thanksgiving holiday. As I turned the corner on an aisle, there was an entourage of 6 men floating through the butcher shop area, talking to the butcher. And my heart once again started pounding. I was like, is that Mr. the president of this large grocery chain right here delivered on a silver platter to me? Yes, it was. So I turned to this stalker in the shelf and I go, is that Mr. Dada? And he was like, yes, it sure is. That's the man. And so I started digging in my purse looking for a business card. And what do you know? I didn't have a business card. And I always have business cards. But for whatever reason, I was out of them in my purse. And I was like, I am not going to miss this opportunity to meet this man. I mean, how wonderful was that? So I kind of waited in the wings. Nobody was really in the store. It was just their little entourage. And there was a gatekeeper guy, and he tried to intercept and block me. And as soon as he goes, ma'am, can I help you? Like to the blocker guy. And I was like, I just want to say hello to Mr. You know. And so Mr. Turned around. He was like, well, hi. And I said, hi, I'm with a local hydroponic farm. We are so interested in doing business with Kroger, but I don't really know how to start. So can you please guide me in the right direction? We have all the things in place, blah, blah, blah. And so he said, actually, here, why don't you email me when you get your presentation ready? Oh, because I told him we weren't ready yet. So this was November. So I said, oh, thank you so much. And I said, and by the way, it's really an interesting story, but I saw your face on a Hulu commercial and I connected with you that night. So we're already connected on LinkedIn because you accepted my connection within 15 minutes. And he was like, oh, that's really cool. And I said, thank you so much for being so kind and generous. And he said, well, thank you for shopping at our grocery store. He said their little namesake. So I was so thrilled. I got in the car on this Saturday morning and I texted the CEO of my company. And I was like, oh my gosh, guess what just happened? Okay, so we weren't ready to present right away. I had to wait for us to get operationally ready for such a large account. And so just fast forward a little bit. It was about 5 months later, and the company wasn't doing that great financially. And I just said, if we're going down, I am not going down without at least attempting to get this account first before things go south. And so I said, I'm emailing them. And so I got in front of them. I put my email in front of the company. The president sent it to the right people. That right person contacted me back, had a few conversations through email. Then he said, let's get on a Zoom. And my CEO went and got a grocery consultant, a contractor, because he didn't think that we could figure it out because I'd never worked in the grocery business. We didn't know protocols or anything like that. So he wanted someone else on a Zoom call to give us their opinion. And so when we got on the Zoom call, there were like 5 people in a Zoom call. We had the head, listen to this, we had the head of all of produce from top of the corporate ladder, who was over 25 divisions, which are like regions, And in my case, our region had 115 stores. So you can imagine with 25 divisions, how many stores all over the country that incorporated that we were presenting our hydroponic pitch to. So we did our little pitch. They basically said in that one first Zoom call that they wanted to do business with us. And when we got off the call with them, we had to get our ducks in a row, and they knew that, and they were going to be patient with us because this brand is really interested in working with local. And what happened was that consultant was giving me major kudos because he couldn't believe that on a first Zoom call that I got a yes from the corporate. He was like, you have no idea in this industry how long it takes to go through local stores, local managers, local regional managers, local area vice presidents to then get to a regional produce distributor. Decision maker. And then on top of that guy, the regional guy of this division, was able to get the corporate guy over 25 divisions on the phone call, and all of them wanted to do business with us in that first Zoom call. So why am I sharing this story? One, I shocked myself, but number two, to inspire people to think big, think outside the box, believe in yourself, believe that miracles are happening and they're available to you. And when you're a salesperson or a consultant, or you rely on creating business, you've got like half of the sales process is believing that it's possible. Because when you believe that miracles are possible with your sales, you do actions and take steps to get the results that you desire. And then they happen faster, and you close business faster, and you close amazing business faster. They love your positive attitude too. People want to work with positive thinking people. So while you're out there doing this job search, looking for your dream job, your dream opportunity, something that you're going to love, something that you're going to enjoy, because we all know we want it, you've got to believe that it's possible. Because when you walk into an interview with a heart of positivity, whether you say anything or not, the interviewer can feel it. They may not even know that they can feel it. But what people call that is a gut feeling. That energy vibration that you put out based on the energy you feel inside yourself is what people experience on the receiving side as a gut instinct. So when you walk into an interview, think about, what is the gut instinct feeling I'm putting out there? And I want to inspire you all to think positively, speak positively, and create your own opportunities working outside of the box. I hope this was inspirational, and I look forward to telling y'all more stories of personal life experiences. If you need to find a way to get creative in front of your prospects or in front of your job seeking recruiters, job helping, job finding recruiters, get yourself a highlight video. Sure, you could get online on a video by yourself on a Zoom and talk about how great you are. But is that going to translate as well as someone asking you to tell us about yourself and tell us how great you are? As a creative marketer, I came up with this idea because somehow it's more palatable for a person to ask you to tell us about yourself than for a person to get on a video by themselves and just talk about themselves. So just think about that. I'm here to help. Look me up, Avanti Creative Marketing, and I'll see you online. Bye.